or 800-348-1007. Feel free to watch live if you're so inclined. Throw it up on some big screen at AlanCoxShow.com. Guardians lose both halves of that doubleheader yesterday to the Kansas City Royals. 9-4 was the final last night. 4-3 was the loss earlier in the day. They're halfway through that series. They'll play them again tonight and then tomorrow afternoon. So they got a shot to even it up. 6:40 tonight is going to be your first pitch. We'll get you right into it. Royals, Guardians tonight on the Buzzard. And then they stick around through the weekend to host the Pittsburgh Pirates of Pennsylvania. Before the Guardians hit the road to play the Royals in Kansas City, they'll play the Dodgers, and then they will go to Chicago to play the beleaguered. I mean, beleaguered is too soft regarding the Chicago White Sox. Beleaguered sounds like they're just having a couple of problems.
Beleaguered sounds like there's circumstances beyond their control, like there were some injuries or some sort of natural disaster, something like that.
That's the best description I've heard of this year's Chicago White Sox. A natural disaster.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who are talented in their sport. Theoretically, they're highly paid, and they are terrible. The first team to get to 100 losses, the fastest since the beginning of the 20th century. So Guardians in Chicago to play the White Sox the 9th. But, whoa, that's fitting. Their last game in that series will be September the 11th.
Oh, there you go. Never
there
forget.
There you go. Hashtag never forget. And I bet they never will. By the way, it happened again on the app during this break. And not one of those national ads. This sounded like a local ad. Alan, I first saw a picture of a vagina when I was 8.
Frustrated Incorporated.
I don't know what they sell, but I hope that we're getting. I hope they're getting top dollar for that.
They sell great rock songs that pull on your heartstrings.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Frustrated Incorporated.
Yeah.
All right. A little early aughts pop punk. They're going for.
Well, I mean, Soul Asylum, right?
They have a song called Frustrated Incorporated. Is that what he was singing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was screwing around.
Soul Asylum
it didn't
song.
click with me.
Yeah.
Okay. I never really got down with Soul Asylum. I know Runaway Train. I know Long Way Down's Goo Goo Dolls. Runaway Train.
Runaway Train was really their...
Somebody to Shove.
Yeah, Somebody to Shove, yeah.
I was never down with Soul Asylum. The dude was banging Winnie Ryder for a while. That was cool. But that's their song. Okay, yeah. Frustrated Incorporated. Well,
I thought
listen.
You would have known that one.
No, Brian will. Brian's
all over the map.
He really is.
He's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
What you see is a mess, Mary. I see as a beautiful constellation of musical challenges and puzzles to solve. The guy's like a Rubik's Cube, and I'm terrible with those, so I didn't get the Soul Asylum reference. Speaking of your Cleveland Guardians, there are only a few days remaining in the month of August. Sunday, unbelievably, is September the 1st. And with it will come a brand new promo code over there at CLE Clothing Company. All through the month of August, if you wanted to get something, you could just go in there and say, Lake. Just like that. Apropos of nothing, no context, walk in, slap a T-shirt or a hoodie or something out on the counter, and look at them square in the eye, like you're cheersing them. You know when you cheers someone, you're supposed to look them right in the eye or it's bad luck? That's what I was taught. And then just say, Lake. Well, you can only do that for a few more days, and then Sunday, September begins, and with it, the brand new promo code. Would anyone like to take a stab at that?
It's football season. I'm going to go touchdown.
It is not touchdown. That's a really good
Is it a football thing?
guess. I feel like I can't tell you that. Of course I can tell you that. It is not a football thing.
Okay.
It is not touchdown. Nope.
It is school.
It is not school.
Does it make sense with autumn, fall type stuff? Pumpkin spice.
Ish. No, not. Boy, they started pumpkin spice season early, didn't they?
I felt like, and before Labor Day? I mean, come on.
Everything gets pushed up pretty soon. You know how people go, oh, it's not, like 4th of July, they start putting up Halloween decorations and stuff, but.
That's my entire timeline on social media right now. It's spooky season. Oh,
yeah.
my witchy girls.
Yup. You gals, you love you some Halloween.
This
why wouldn't you?
promo code.
Why would you have a personality when you can just be Halloween?
Well, I mean, listen, it's not for me, but if people who are like, hey, it's fall, I like Halloween, I got no problem with that, really. It's your life. You do what you want to. It's the people that are like in March who are like, nah, I can't. Okay, fine, whatever. Listen, you got to live your life, right?
The promo code for September is 11th.
It is not. It is never forget. No, the promo code for the month of September is Guardian.
Oh.
I mean, they will be playing fall ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Guardian is going to be your promo code there once Sunday hits, and then however many days there are in September. It's like 30. I thought this was a leap year. Aren't there 31 days in September in a leap year?
No.
Oh.
You're all over the place.
Yeah.
You gotta take a nap, brother. Figure it out.
I'm having a bit of fun with you, Mary, but apparently
I think
not.
that you are. I think you're losing your
That's
mind.
got to be a two-way street.
I guess
I think
so.
you're losing your mind.
Apparently not. I'm here to ask questions, and you
Don't
have
like
to be
questions.
all Miss Ne'er-do-well, whatever it is.
I'm gonna do well.
No, of course I
always do
realize that a
well.
leap year doesn't affect September. You're such a silly goose. I got a letter about the cruise. You know, Captain Fun's floating Fandango was on Saturday, and if you missed it, boy, well, you missed it. Mike, Alan, my wife, and I were on the cruise this past weekend, and I heard you mention that Intense Randy had made his way onto the boat, and he said, coincidentally, where we were seated, the very top deck there, Randy and his companion were seated 2 tables away from us, and they spent the entire time shouting at each other to the point where everyone around them was stopping and staring, and no one seemed to understand what was happening. The yelling only got louder. At one point, we distinctly heard the woman shout, "Randy, you piece of shrimp." At that moment, we collectively realized that must be Intense Randy.
Obviously.
If that was the toned-down version of him, Mike said, I'd be curious to see what normal Intense Randy is. But again, that's why I gave him that nickname, because he is, he's nice. He truly is. He's a lot. He's intense. Remember when we did the Guardians opening day broadcast a few years ago when we were doing this like silly impromptu dance contest, and he got in
to win
there.
tickets to the game.
Yeah, started doing the worm on the floor of the pizza shop, the whole thing. So say what you want, but he takes life by the horns, and he doesn't let go.
Dedicated.
Dedicated. You must live every day like it's your last, because, they tell me, one day it will be. And then what were you going to do? Interesting.
What will you gonna do, Alan?
What will you gonna do? Now who needs to get it together?
You do.
What will you gonna do? I'm Rob Lowe. This is The Floor. I had a Zoom call earlier today with an endorsement client. And these rooms are not set up for those Zoom meetings, so I do it on my phone. And they're fine.
I can show you how to do it.
I'm sorry?
I can show you how to do it.
I don't care. I can just as easily do it on my phone. Oh, I can get the video to come up, but nobody can hear me through the board. And I'm not going to start changing a bunch of settings for something that's going to take 15 minutes. I can easily do it on my phone. But people over at Zoom there, you know, Zoom did exist before COVID. It was a company. Nobody had ever heard of it before unless your company happened to be using Zoom. But obviously it really blew up over COVID. And I was reading a thing the other day that Zoom put out this press release that they had unveiled a groundbreaking capability to have 1 million people on one of their webinars. 1 million people on a Zoom call. I mean, it's, first of all, that means, do the math with me. It means at least 5,000 of those people are going to get caught masturbating. But also, they're bad enough if you have 4 or 5 people on a Zoom call. What would you possibly need 1 million people on a Zoom call for?
At that point, isn't that just like streaming where you have...
Yes.
Because you're not calling all those people up. You're not like letting them participate in the meeting. That's
Maybe you are.
That's like something you could just do on YouTube.
Zoom announces they have invented YouTube.
Or television.
We've expanded our capacity to invent television. We're revolutionizing. Yeah, I didn't really dig into the press release, but I got one the other day, and I was like, okay, we can accommodate huge events. And so, 10,000 people, but 1 million people. If you've ever spent an appreciable amount of time on Zoom, like I said, even with 15 people, it seems like it never worked exactly the way you wanted it to.
I would say even with one person, it's kind of unbearable.
A little bit. That's a FaceTime.
I'm talking like you Zoom with us every day.
Oh, yes. That's unbearable. I'm not on the same page as you guys yet.
What's happening? Are you okay?
I'm not.
Did you guys all smoke crack today? What's going on?
I didn't smoke crack.
Did you smoke crack? That's
No,
Bill's
crack
only thought.
smoking.
Did you guys smoke crack?
What happened?
Uh-huh.
If you did it without me, I'm gonna be so mad.
No, I
This
had
should
a
be a
very
group
eventful.
activity.
I had a very eventful morning, and not in a great way, not in a bad way, but like
I saw your cat puke.
my stupid freaking cat. You hear that? You know that noise you hear?
Oh,
when you-
yeah.
Yeah,
oh
when it's coming from
God.
a cat, it's terrible.
And so I'm laying there, and I bolt up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm looking around, and I can't find her, and she's at the foot of my bed. And I heard that she started puking, and I tried to like lift her to get her off of my bed, and then it just ran down the entire side of my bed. So now it's 4:30 in the morning, and I got to get up and take my sheets off and clean up the puke. And
What did she eat? Do you know? Like,
I think she was just mad.
cats puke when they're mad?
Cats puke when they're
Oh,
upset. Yeah,
what magical animals.
they really are.
Yeah.
And that's, if it's not a hairball, the only time she ever throws up is when she's pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gone all weekend, so I'm assuming, and Sarah's mom is here. So not only was I gone, but now there's an extra person in the house that she doesn't know
So this is a pet.
who pukes on your stuff.
Putting the pet in petty. This is a pet who, when they get mad, they go, well, screw you. I'm just going to vomit.
Yeah.
That would be
Mine
an
does.
amazing talent. It'd be like an X-Man power for a person.
Just puke when you're mad.
Somebody was, I'm sorry, I vomit when I get mad.
Yeah.
You don't want to see me angry. Be puke all over this. You don't know what I had for lunch. You better stay on my good side.
Yeah, so to be woken up out of a dead sleep, and then it took me way longer than it should have because my eyes aren't open yet. So I didn't get to like lay back down in my bed until like 6 o'clock, and then I couldn't fall back asleep. So then I was up until like 7:30, and then I had therapy over the phone at 10, and so it's just been a.
Did you talk about the cat for the whole hour?
We did not.
Ah.
I'm working on my forgiveness packets.
Ah. Does that include your cat?
No, she's not a person. She's never
You
done
didn't say
anything.
person. You said forgiveness packets.
Right, but they're mostly.
You don't
for,
have
like,
any, irrespective of what you have to forgive people for, none of them have vomited all over your bed because they were slightly angry with you.
What? That's.
Oh, you've had
halfway
someone
true.
puke on your bed because they were mad at you?
Not because they were mad at me because they were drunk, but they might have gotten drunk because they were mad at me.
Hmm.
But
Touche.
yeah,
Gotten drunk because they were mad at you.
I'm not saying they did. I'm saying they might have been.
Might
mad,
have, yeah.
And that might have fueled those shots. Who
I
knows?
see.
Real quick, I've brought up the forgiveness packets before and like working through them with my dad and now current alive family members. I posted a link on my Instagram story. A lot of people reached out to me and was like, Mary, hey, what's up? Can you send me this forgiveness packet or can you just let me know what it's about? I found the link. It's at Mary Santora Comedy. Go to my story. It's there. It's a website. Hold on. Called.
This is where we can see the one that you filled out. This is fun.
No, you don't
Let's
get to
do
see
it.
my answers.
Oh.
No.
Oh, we're gonna do that on the show.
But it's called therapistaid.com. Not
Is it spelled
hashtag not an-
P-I-S-S-E-D?
No. Therapist Aid. And there's like worksheets, videos, articles, interactive things you can do on your phone. And it's like every topic. It's forgiveness, grief, setting boundaries, like all kinds of stuff. So if you want to check that out, I linked it. And then, yeah, anger, anxiety, education, grief, positive psychology, relationships, self-esteem, like so many different types of things. And like little, it seems dumb to do like a workbook to learn how to forgive someone, but some of us need a little more guidance than others, you know? But that link is up, therapistaid.com. I know a lot of people asked me about that.
Well, the whole point of journaling for people is that things feel or seem more real when you write them down.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it's part of that.
Well, and it asks what seem like very basic little kid questions.
2 + 2.
Yes.
5.
9.
My dad hates me.
Yes.
Oh.
I got beat with a belt. But no, so it'll say like, describe the injustice and how it made you feel at the time.
Injustice.
Yes,
Wow,
that-
this jumped up a notch.
Yes.
Injustice.
It is an injustice.
Wow.
Well,
I
you,
wore these boots and they didn't say they liked them.
So it's
All
like,
right.
But and then it's therapy phrasing. So it's like they describe the person as the wrongdoer. It's little prompts that seem very dumb, and you look at it, you're like, I'm 35. This is so friggin' stupid. Why do I have to do this? And then I did it, and it really helped. So.
I don't think 35 has anything to do with it. There's people still, figuring things out. So
you should understand your Well,
No.
should, but whatever. Be able to identify stuff.
Yeah, but you
Mhm.
also have been such a. Everybody does it on their own timeline, and you were using alcohol as a coping mechanism for so long, and these are a lot of things I imagine that aren't just from your dad passing away. There's a lot of other stuff that's unresolved.
Oh,
that
from
you never,
childhood,
yeah,
dude.
from childhood, especially you had a very chaotic childhood.
Yeah.
That I imagine there's a lot to unpack there. So yeah, don't be like, oh, I should have had this all figured out by the time I'm 35. There's people that never get that stuff figured out.
In today's session,
I mean,
we're
I
talking...
did like so easy, but because it's not
Well,
hard.
clearly, you're not a paperwork guy, though. So
Right,
you're not
he's-
gonna. He's not gonna do a forgiveness packet.
I
Not
did
super
a
into
forgiveness book on tape.
There you go.
a forgiveness podcast is what he listens to.
Today's session, we're going through a living family member and my issues with them and our relationship from.
Let me guess, the sister who hangs out with your friend behind your back.
How'd you know?
Because
It's
I
all
know
about-
ya.
It's all about Bill. This
Yep,
session.
I knew it.
No, but
I knew it.
it of course ended up going back to my dad, and my therapist is like, "We got to do this. We got to work through it. You can't just keep getting right there." But
Does
so
that
that's
website have a glossary of terms?
Therapistaid.com. Let me pull it
You
up.
mentioned the
on my...
word emotions. I'm unclear with that.
Well, it says explore tools by topic, and then it's like
Ooh.
anger, anxiety, art, CBT,
Yeah.
cognitive behavioral therapy, I think
Yeah.
is what that's called.
Mhm.
Communication, depression, education, emotions is a general. I could click emotions and see what it says. Emotion training tools. Printable emotion faces, emotion cards. and
Emotion
questions.
cards. There you
Yeah.
go.
Wheel of emotions, how I
Yep.
feel packet.
I think that was an
List of
Ohio
emotions.
Players song, Wheel of Emotions.
Yeah,
a
there's
good
one
one.
for adults and for children
Mm-hmm. Which
To
one
help
should I
you-
use?
to help you identify your emotions.
Ah. All right.
But yeah, it seems to be, and you don't have to be a therapist or anything to use it. You just go on there and click what you need. But yeah, so when the cat puked all over my crap, and then I was up, and then I was tired, and then I was emotional, and then so that's why I'm not exactly on the joke page yet. But I'll get there with you guys. I'll try to go along better.
Well, do me a favor and just let me know when you're on the joke page with us.
Okay.
And
I'll try.
then Bill and I will fill out our forgiveness packets for you.
You should. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Taking steps to be a better man. Good for you.
No.
We won't be frustrated incorporated.
Frustrated in. People are telling me that song is called Misery by Soul Asylum. Okay. Well, there you go.
I just know it's by Soul Asylum.
Uh-huh.
I had the tape.
You had the Soul Asylum tape.
I had that album.
Was
on
that
tape.
on Grave Dancers Union or whatever
oh
it
my
was?
gosh. It's like my therapist's ears are burning. She just sent me a new packet called the Reality Acceptance Worksheet.
There you go.
I don't like this at all. I have to list
Give us some questions.
5 realities I am refusing to accept.
Oh, Jesus.
This sucks,
Name
dude.
one.
She's like flat Earth. 9/11 was an inside job.
Behaviors I do when I am refusing to accept a reality may look like a tantrum, giving up, manipulating, arguing. How I experience suffering when I refuse to accept reality. So that's what I mean, where it's like, it seems so dumb and basic, but apparently,
Well, what?
I don't know how to do it.
Can you think of an actual reality you're not accepting, though?
Yes, I
Oh.
know exactly what she wants me to write down.
Oh, okay.
I have a very hard time
Women aren't funny.
accepting that women are funny. Yes, it's very difficult for me. It's causing a lot of problems here in New York.
I remember this song, Misery. Yeah, I remember this song, of course. All right, well, I'm going to take a break so Mary can try to accept her reality
Gotta do something.
that she's not on the joke page yet. And we'll come back. I'll have Coal Chamber tickets for you. They've pushed their show back a bit, so it's going to